How y'all doing? I wanted to reach out today and talk about breast cancer because yesterday I was, I'm pretty public with how I post things and, especially my feelings because I'm just that way and I'd love a audience maybe, but a very dear person in my life, one of the major canna warriors whose name is Paula Doyle, who changed her name to Rise Up right as she was rising on out of our plane of existence, left the planet yesterday. And she was an amazing inspiration to me. And the cancer that I hate treating the most is breast cancer. And the strain of breast cancer that I hate the most is HER3 or estrogen-driven breast cancer, anything in that family, because it's a really intelligent cancer and it can transmute what it's given. So it doesn't follow normal patterns, and it's really invasive, and it's really detrimental to the person who has it. So my good girl Paula, this is in honor of her, this video that I'm making today, because she really inspired me this way. She was my client for a long time. I taught her how to extract. She began extracting her own medicine. She created her own strains. She went out into the world and found her own way. And she followed her passion and she followed her dream. And she did things that people told her not to do. And one of the things that she did that people told her not to do was to go to a foreign country, Thailand, and use experimental herbs. And she was just not strong enough really to probably take that journey, that long flight to Thailand. And she met a shaman, and if you look on her page and you read through her stuff, you'll see where she talks about the only person who's a shaman, the only shaman that there is you. So that's really what I want y'all to take away from this, that only you truly know what you need for yourself. And everyone around you is going to give you information. Everyone's going to tell you what they think they know. And everyone's going to try and direct you, no matter whether it's cancer or your job or your money or your love life, right? Because people always want to tell you what you should do. They definitely want to tell you who you should love. But don't listen to that. Love who you love and follow your own knowing. Follow your truth. Follow it, because in that way, then you know that it's right for you because you're following your truth. But, there's a lot of misconception about breast cancer and cannabis. There's all kinds of misguided information around it. So much that I just wanted to come live and see if, and clear up a couple things about it, okay? So one of the first things is that it's a transmutive genetic strain that is smarter than other cancers, and it is very, very aggressive. So how do you treat it? Now, there was a rumor that was floating around that high THC drove estrogen. Okay, I propagated that lie because I read the study. I read one line of the study, and then Mara Gordon from Aunt Zelda, she really cleared it up for me, and that is not true. So it is not true that THC will drive estrogen in breast cancer. That is a falsity for sure. And it's also not true that it will cure breast cancer. That is also a falsity, right? So cannabis is this awesome thing that is able to help the body restore itself. It builds the cell. CBD is a neurorestorative. What that means is that when you take in cannabidiol, which is CBD, right, cannabinoids, your cells actually wake up and they get oxygen and they get more blood, and then therefore you feel better. The other thing that CBD does is it repairs the myelin sheath of the nerve. So it literally regrows your nerve system. And the reason why it does that is because of the endocannabinoid system, which sits on top of the nervous system and feeds the nervous system. So how this relates with breast cancer and all cancers, but especially breast cancer, is that that's an endocrine cancer. So that's feeding, our genetics, our gender. Your endocrine system feeds your gender, right? Like if you're a guy, then you have prostate, and if you're a woman, then you have ovaries and a uterus, and the obvious equipment that goes with those two things, right? So when you're using cannabis, to combat cancer or to make yourself better or to, reduce the effects of chemotherapy and allow it to be more channeled towards the cancer, you want to make sure that you are using correct amounts, right? Because there was another misnomer that a gram a day is what would cure you. Now, a gram is a weight of measure, and not all grams are created equally, except for they all weigh 1 gram, right? So if you got a gram of oil that I created, it's going to have somewhere between 750 milligrams and 800 milligrams per gram of cannabinoids. That's going to knock you on your ass. You're not going anywhere for days. You're also going to throw up and vomit most of that out of your system, and then, forget it. You're couch locked for 4 days. So I feel that the sweet spot for cancer is between 150 milligrams and 300 milligrams of dosing per day combined. CBD, THC, CBN, all of it. Because let's remember, when we're talking about cannabis, we are talking about a plant. So all plant-based medicine goes from the entourage effect. And the entourage effect means that its entire molecular panel is present in it when it's being taken. So we are basically minerals, water, right? We are, if you broke a human being down, we would be what is created in a star. We are truly stardust. We really are. When we're not a meat suit, when you just break us down to the mineral content of what we are, we're stars. That's what we are. So cannabis is a star as well. It's a star plant. So there are certain plants that we call catalyst plants. They sit in the center of our plant wheel, basically. And when something's a catalyst, it moves other medicines forward. So one of the things that cannabis really does well is it helps other things target their mission. Like it helps when you're using cannabis and you're doing chemo, you're helping the chemotherapy target the cancer, okay? And then the second thing that you're doing is you are keeping the rest of your body safe from the destructive conditions of cancer, right? So those are the things that I just wanted to share today, that there is no real known cure for estrogen-driven breast cancer. Everybody is a complete individual. The thing that Paula gave me and the world, Rise Up, was to do exactly that, to rise up, to sit in our own womb space knowing. Now, if you don't know what your womb is, and you're a dude, and you're like, oh, there's no way I could have a womb. Well, you do. We all have it. We all have a space in our body where we have our knowing. There's 2 places where you know it. I always talk about it in all my videos, okay? One is right in the center of your gut, and the other one is behind your neck. So when real danger is coming for you, it's like the hairs in the back of your neck stand up, right? And if something is really wrong, it's like a sinking feeling in your belly, correct? I'm sure everyone can agree with that. So that is your womb knowing. And only you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, only you know how to heal yourself. Only you know who you love. Only you know what you need. So you need to get quiet and you need to listen to yourself. And then that way you're going to know exactly what you need for your medicine, and how to take care of your life, and how to handle all the things around you that are making you crazy, and how to delineate from all the white noise of people telling you who you should love, what you should do, how you should fight your illness. Everyone has an opinion for you. Everyone. But you know yourself, and you know what's up. You do. So I really want you, in honor of my dear friend who lived 7 or 8 years past her diagnosis. That's a tremendous amount of time. To remember that it's not the amount of time you get on the planet, it's what you do with the amount of time you have on the planet. So fill your life, people. Make it rich. Put yourself out there. Take a risk, right? At the end of the day, you're gonna fucking die. Okay? You're gonna die. None of us are gonna escape that. So there's no reason to be small. There's no reason to be little. There's no reason to hide. There isn't. Be bold in your life. Step out there. You know, be different than me. Get good hair. You know, like get good hair. Brush that shit, unlike me, because I just don't have time. Okay? Take care of yourself. And if you are using cannabis as medicine, if you're not making it yourself, okay, then know your medicine maker. And if you're using CBD, oh, good Lord in heaven, if you are buying CBD off a shelf, you are buying industrial hemp. And I don't care if the label says full spectrum, it's full spectrum hemp, okay? So hemp and cannabis, yes, they are family, but boys and girls are family. We're both humans and we're completely different. And yes, we have some of the same stuff, right? We do. Men, women, we have a lot of the same things. And then we have a whole nother part of ourselves that isn't like the other, right? And that is exactly what hemp and cannabis are like. So if you are using this plant to help yourself through a life-threatening illness like cancer, okay? It is your job to do your due diligence and find out where the product you're getting is coming from. And if you're just going to a dispensary and they're like, oh, well, I don't know, go to a different dispensary. Because a lot of them are insular, which means that what they're selling, they're growing, okay? And that's kind of good because that way you can know what the hell you're using, right? Because you need to know how many milligrams per gram you're using. You need to. That's the way you heal. Like you don't get a pharmaceutical drug and they're like, just use this as you can, figure it out. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like that with cannabis either. It doesn't go like that with vitamin C. Remember, think of your body like a sponge, okay? You can only absorb so much at a time. So don't waste product trying to get the most in. That's an addict mentality. When you're like, the more the better, you are straight up. Straight up in addiction. Okay, so don't go there because you don't need to go there because it's not necessarily. Think of yourself as a sponge, and every time you drop a little bit of water in it, it opens up a little bit more. So that's the same way that you want to use cannabis medicine, like a sponge, dropping in a little bit at a time so your body can absorb, integrate, and assimilate, and then use and heal you. I know I've kind of gone all over the board on this live video, so hopefully you'll listen to it and not get lost, because the real point of it is that you just take responsibility for your life, that you love who you love, you do what you know, you listen to your own self, and if you're using cannabis as medicine, then just know this is the Wild West. There are no locked-in formulas for any cancer with cannabis that are 100% effective and work. There just isn't. There's nothing like that for pretty much anything, because we're all individuals, we're all different. So unless y'all have any questions, because I haven't seen any, thank you for listening to me rant. And I hope that you all have a really super wonderful week and you love yourself, because when you love yourself, you absolutely can love another person, okay? So put yourself on the list. Number 1, don't be a selfish fuck. Just take care of yourself and everything will be dandy, okay? Thank you.